JJ Buck.
So we've been told as long as we've been told. However long that is. Two best words in sports, what are they? Come on. I'm looking at a blank classroom. We had 4 of them yesterday. Two best words in sports. What do we hear all the time?
Game 7.
Thank you. Have we not been told that forever?
We have.
Well, we had 4 of them yesterday. Sometimes they don't produce. 2 of them were good. Neither one of them were in basketball. Because the 2 Game 7s in basketball were not good. The 2 Game 7, if you do the hockey, if you watch hockey, if you enjoy the hockey playoffs like we recommend you do, then you got it. But if you were waiting for the hoops to give you your Game 7 thrills, it might not have been great for you. Decisive game for the Ice Wolves. That was exciting. Got a lot to do today. Good morning to you. It's the opening drive. Merry Monday. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. What's happening?
What it do?
A lot to do this morning. A lot coming off a busy weekend. State championships. Biggest crowd at Isotopes Park. We had the playoffs in swing. Lots of lacrosse on your TV. I don't know how, as you were stumbling through. Did you catch some NCAA lacrosse to watch? I mean, that's just if you it's there for you. Starting the NBA. I don't know where this came from. Game 7 in Phoenix, and Dallas runs the Suns out of the desert. The hell with out of the building. They ran them out of the desert, 123-90, and dare I say it might not have been that close. Luka is a superstar. He had 35, 24 from Jalen Brunson. They get a big performance off the bench from Dinwiddie, had 30, and good night now. What were the Mavericks, the 6th seed?
No, 4.
They won the 4-5 matchup. Again, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so you're gonna have the 3 and 4 seed in the West, and in the East you'll have the. I guess that's what is that 1 and 2? I guess that is 1 and 2. So chalk holds in the East. The West was wide open. Look, you want to tell me Dallas was going to win yesterday? I could have sat there and listened to you. If you want to tell me that it was going to be close, I would have sat there and listened to you. You were going to tell me that they were going to beat them by damn near 40. I thought you were out of your mind. This is a great season and a horrific finish for the Phoenix Suns.
I don't know where that cliff came from for Devin Booker, but it hit him out of nowhere. And you said it, the superstar won this series.
Yeah.
I was sitting there yesterday. I'm like, all right, what was the difference? It couldn't have just been, Dallas maybe trapping Booker on the baseline, throwing different looks at him. I do think the size of the Mavericks overall got to Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Last 5 games, Chris Paul was a average player, if that, at times, well below average in this series. And the final 2 games for Devin Booker, no way you could watch those last 2 games and say that's a dude who can take over a game and win a game. 0 for 8 from 3.
What was his injury early in the playoffs? Remember when he went down? What was it?
Hamstring.
All right. Could that have been a part of it?
It's possible.
Could he have rushed back? Could he not been good? I don't know. I'm not looking to make excuses, please. I'm really not. I like Devin Booker. I thought he was, in last year, I thought he was the guy when he went through the playoffs, all the playoffs last year. I thought he was the guy that was on the verge of being the superstar coming out of the NBA playoffs. Giannis already was. Middleton and Drew Holiday, while they won a championship, I thought were nice. They made the Olympic team. They won a gold medal. But I thought it was Devin Booker who was on his way to becoming a superstar. Who let you down more in this series? Was it Chris Paul or was it Devin Booker? And the answer can be yes.
It's Devin Booker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The unfortunate thing with Chris Paul is we were all sitting there waiting for something bad to happen for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And you wonder if was it just father time that out of nowhere it zapped his ability in that series. Fun stat, which is terrible for Chris Paul. So he turned 37 early in this series. So 5 games as a 37-year-old for Chris Paul. 9.4 points, 5.8 assists, with 22 turnovers.
It's not real good.
Not at all. But the worst thing about it is Devin Booker the last 2 games.
So you tell me Chris Paul's done? I mean, is that
Well, he went from a guy that could win you a game to a completely average player in this series. Last 5 games. Series on the line. You need it. And he couldn't give it to you anymore. And so you're sitting there, the Mavs, they might have changed some things, but did they change up everything to take out the Suns' 2 biggest players? Oh, and by the way, we'll get to the fact all of a sudden in a Game 7 at home, DeAndre Ayton and your head coach, Monty Williams, all of a sudden don't like each other.
So who's this on? If you're sitting, because I keep going back, and I know I told you this, and I've told you this story a number of times, and I'm going to tell you again, because it's just emblazoned in my mind. Was it 2 weeks ago I was in Scottsdale, right, for those meetings? And I came back on Wednesday. I did the show on Tuesday, came back in on Wednesday, or whatever the number is. And I remember, JJ, how many times have I told you, listening to the radio over there, it was, well, is it going to be a sweep? Can Dallas win a game? I told you that I was watching as I was getting ready for one of those dinners. I was watching the local news, and the local sports guy was out at Footprint Arena where they play, the Footprint Center. And they had a guy, well, one of our colleagues, a guy from Dallas was on. And the poor guy it was the Dallas sports guy, TV sports guy. And he was just in aw shucks mode. Like, we don't really belong here. Yeah, if the Mavs are going to win a game, Luka's going to have to go crazy. But even that might not be enough. Like, everybody I watched who was around that series conceded that series. I can't get the Dallas sportscaster out of my mind. I don't know what his name was. He was one of the TV guys from their sister station, and yeah, maybe if Dinwiddie can have a big night, they can steal a game. Maybe I could see them winning a couple games, but I just don't know that. I mean, this was done. And when Phoenix won the first 2 games at home, it was done. Except it wasn't, and it spun the other way. And I got to believe those same people are losing their bleeping minds today in Phoenix. Because I don't want to tell you that window's closed, because I think so much happens so quickly in the National Basketball Association. But that was a team that was in the finals last year and that swept through the season as the best team in the NBA with the best record by far. You had Chris Paul, this was going to be it. Oh, they signed him for that big money. He earned it last year, right? I told you then I wouldn't have given it to him, but okay, fine. You got an upcoming superstar in Devin Booker. Ayton's coming to his own. You got all these pieces off the bench. Wow, look, they look like they're on a clash with the Warriors, and they may win the championship. And they fell apart to the tune of a 123-90 rump beating in their building in Game 7. And I will tell you, if that happens another play, I'm not telling you to blow this thing up, okay? I'm not. But I'm looking around and going, man, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. Like nobody is out of blame in this, because this thing not only fell apart, it fell apart in a week.
You look at that window, I think it can still be there given the fact that core is so young. And we've talked about it even in this postseason. Chris Paul, he had some games where you're like, man, this guy can still be the best player on the floor. But that was some games. And he wasn't even able to be the really good complementary player in this series the last 5 games. You combine that with Devin Booker being bad. And is it a hamstring injury? Did that finally catch back up to him? Because he was pretty good through the first couple games of this series. As you said, a lot of people thinking, can Devin Booker assert himself as a superstar? The answer to that question is no right now. Because a superstar doesn't disappear. Superstars might lose, but they steal you a game. Giannis. Luka. They do something to keep their team in a series, in a game, and that wasn't Devin Booker.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I know we're focusing on the negative. Luka was great, and how good are the Mavericks? And can they beat the Warriors? And the answer is they certainly can. I'm going to take the Warriors to win the series in 6, but they can win. And now you got a team that's believing, and you've got a superstar who's playing at the height of his game, and you got guys that are showing up night in and night out. They're making shots. They believe in what Jason Kidd's doing. And all of a sudden, I mean, we can sit and talk about the Suns all we want, and I got to believe we're not done. Because what's next for Chris Paul, and what do they do and all that? Damn, dude, Dallas has shown up in these playoffs.
Luka, he can get whatever he wants.
Yeah,
he's got
whenever.
an edge,
Yeah.
and that team follows him. And that is why outside, it was easy to say, this is over. The Mavs don't have it. Look at these role players. What are they going to do? Well, Luka Doncic continued to be himself. He even took his game to another level in this series when you look at the plays he was making for his teammates. Because a lot of those times when those guys are making those shots, it's because the ball is being given to them in a great position. And Luka did that a lot in this series. You got yourself a big Spencer Dinwiddie game, 30 points from him yesterday, and that is how you win series. That is how you come back against good teams, and that is how superstars advance, is because the role players still do show up in those series. Phoenix is sitting here today looking around going, where did all our role players go? That was their MO. That was their thing.
Right.
Really good defensively, getting good production across the board. That all went away, and now we're setting up for a Western Conference Finals. Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, who we'll get to on Friday night, had himself a bit of a redemption game in that series.
Redemption fourth quarter.
Spurt ability, baby.
That's right.
Spurt ability.
All right, here's what we got for you today. A. Marie, we're gonna talk some football at 7:30. One of the stars of, you might have heard the song once or twice. You might have seen the video. It's Ram It from the 80s Rams. One of the stars of that video is going to be with us. He's in town today. Ron Brown in the video, Speedball Brown. He was a terrific wide receiver for the Rams. He is an Olympic gold medalist, was part of the U.S. Olympic in the 1984 Summer Olympics. He was part of that 4x100 Olympic gold medal team, one of the fastest men in a period in the history of the NFL, and a really good receiver. Big ALS golf tournament in town. There's a number of former really good players around, and got to talk with Ron Brown last night. He's going to come on and be with us at 7:30. He's doing some great things for retired NFL players now. So we're going to catch up with Ron, talk a little football, talk about the Rams, talk about what he's doing to help athletes financially. So I think you'll enjoy that. 9 o'clock this morning, Matt McCoy is going to be with us. He's the head baseball coach at St. Pius. They are the 4A state champions. They avenged last year's loss to their rivals Academy with a 15-2 paddling of the Chargers on Saturday night to end the high school baseball season, the 12th state title for the Sartans, and a great performance by them. So we'll catch up with Matt McCoy coming up at 9 o'clock. So Ron Brown at 7:30, Matt McCoy at 9 o'clock, and Danny Gonzalez at 8 o'clock. So we got a lot to do today. We'll talk college football with Danny Gonzalez at 8 o'clock. So a lot to do. 2460610. That's how to get to us. Obviously, if you want to get in, now's a good time. After Ron would be a good time. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We're back up on the ProView. Got to hang out with Adrian a little bit yesterday.
He has some good pictures of you, by the way.
Oh, boy. Really?
Yeah. He showed me this
Oh, boy.
from Saturday.
All right. I don't know.
I'm going to send them to you.
All right. Adrian, good to see you yesterday. Hope your arm's feeling better. He's got a little bit. He's playing hurt. But good to see him and work with him and Jay Pole and Josh again and that crew. It's the opening drive. We're going to get into the other one, Celtics and Bucks. Oh, and the 2 Game 7s that were good. Hockey is awesome. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dreams are stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New
Mexico. CP3 equals non-winner. Okay. I guess we might have buried the lead. Eddie is reminding me, and it's right here on my list. Another big commitment for UNM men's basketball, Josiah Alec. Kind of funny how the world just spins in circles, right? How there's a big cycle on it. And I don't know. I mean, he's coming from Kansas City, where Marvin Menzies, the former Aggie coach, is now the head coach, and the Lobos are getting another big guy from Kansas City, the Ruse, and a pretty good one from what it, by all appearances, a 6'8" forward who yesterday announced that he's going to play for the University of New Mexico, probably going to be a 4, and just gives you more depth now. And so with the last 2 signings with Alec and Udeze, you feel a little bit better about your front court, Lobo fan? I think you should. And this is where when you saw these signings early, and especially at New Mexico State, they were signing a lot of players, and you were pretty clear about this, and you were right. Just relax. This signing period, it's wide open. It takes a long time. It's not all about now. All the best players aren't going at the front, and you're going to get yours. And they just signed 2 6'8" bigs who have experience, who have played Division I basketball and appear to be pretty good.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see the front court rotation because you look at Josiah Alec, he's averaged 12.9 points, 6.1 rebounds, shot 55% from the floor last season. He can drop an occasional three-point shot, but he looks very similar to Jalen Tovar. So not a true post player, a guy that can give you some minutes inside. Sounds like, especially just reading what Jeff Grammer put together, there's more of a willingness from Alex, and I'll get in there, give you that versatility. So they're going to have a lot of length and athleticism, and I think that's going to be still key because there's not a lot of true post players that you're going to have to face. So you have all of a sudden experience. Udeze, the stronger guy. Alec, give you that look at the 4 and 5. You're going to be able to switch a lot of things defensively. You still have the extra size of Sebastian Forsling heading to his sophomore season. I think the Lobos have to feel really good about the experience they added in the front court.
And I want to caution you on some of you have been like, well, where he's coming from Kansas City, how good can he be? And I caution you, you've had a lot of transfers come in here from Kansas, from big name schools who didn't work out. And I would argue with you that your best ever transferred in from Bradley. Would you disagree? Would you argue back at me? That's where Danny Granger came from.
He's pretty good.
I don't know how much you all thought of Bradley because I've been reading this. Well, how good can he be? He was at Kansas City, and the last guy, easy. Samford was one of, isn't that where Tim Williams came from?
Yep.
He was pretty damn good, wasn't he? Now, yeah, you got your Drew Gordon from UCLA, and you got a J.R. Giddens from Kansas, and it works both ways. You could tell me both ways. I understand that. But I just want, there's good players everywhere. And when this young man got in the transfer portal and 75 schools contacted him and he had his options, I will tell you that, take a look. There's good players in a lot of places. San Diego State, look at some of the transfers they've gotten over the years from Santa Clara and Cal State Northridge, and this year from Seattle, right? And they made hay with that. It's not a bad path, and there's good players who blossom when they get to this level. 505-246-0610. Larry, I think wants to talk a little baseball. Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Sports Animal crew. I haven't been on with you guys since probably around the COVID, but I've been listening to you guys, and I'm back in the office full time, and it's awesome listening to you guys every day. But the reason I called in today is I've always tried to keep up with the New Mexico athletes that are getting to the next level. I called when the Shelby girls from Rio Rancho both won NCAA softball championships with Oklahoma, and I just like to keep up with the kids.
Yep.
And this time, this is personal. My high school friend, Dolores Diaz, her son, he's a Piedra Vista graduate, made his first MLB start Friday night and got his first MLB win 2-0 for the Los Angeles Angels against Oakland. He pitched 6 innings, had 4 strikeouts, and I just wanted to give a shout-out to a New Mexico kid from the Four Corners area that he got the call. He's on the big stage, and it's awesome to see a New Mexico kid just the beginning of his career and getting to see good things coming out of him. I'm a Dodger fan, and right now I'm riding with the Angels just because it's sentimental to watch a kid that I know. Got to watch this kid play high school
and
ball.
his name. And let's put his name out there, Larry. Chase.
I'm sorry.
Chase Silseth.
Yeah.
Yeah, put his name out there.
Silseth,
Chase
yeah.
Silseth is his name, and he went out and pitched. The Angels won that game. I think it was 4-1 was the number. Actually, no, it was 2-0. They won that game.
2-0.
2-0. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, struck out 4, and got his first major league win. And put a name on that young man.
Man, I am so sorry. I felt like a fool as you said that.
No, I'm here for you.
Silseth,
Yeah.
Piedra Vista pitcher. Pac-12 phenomenal pitcher from Arizona.
Yep.
And guys, Sports Animal Nation. If you guys are baseball fans, keep an eye out for the rotation for the kid from New Mexico. And it's just Good things, man. Great way to start a Monday. Thank you for taking my phone call,
Appreciate
guys,
you, Larry.
and gals now. And I'll just listen.
It's good to have you back. Thanks, Larry. That's good, and it's good stuff. Let me just tell you, by the way, watch the Angels.
They're in first place.
If you're looking for who's the surprise team so far in baseball, take a look at the Angels. It's been a long time since you had to worry about the Angels, and they are tied for first place with the Houston Astros. And they are, what do we start out, 24-13. Not only are they hitting, they're pitching. They got a good young pitching staff, including a young man from Farmington, New Mexico, and Chase Silseth. It's kind of, you got to have that pause, like Josh Sushan. You have to pause. Chase Silseth. You have to pause. Otherwise, we run it together. But yeah, no, take a look at what he's doing. There's some unbelievable baseball. The young man from Carlsbad, they didn't even pitch their ace. They won a state championship, a 5A championship. I watched Nolan Esterly from St. Pius throw a gem. Not only did he throw a 4-hitter, he had 4 RBI, had a single, double, and triple in that victory. I watched the young man from Nimi strike out 12. His name was Luis Patron, and he was unbelievable in Nimi's 17-1 victory over East Mountain in the state 3A championship. So JJ, I mean, there's some baseball around here. Somebody tell me, I don't know if we're a golf state or a baseball state, but there's some phenomenal young athletes that are doing New Mexico proud and really making it happen. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to a phenomenal athlete, Ron Brown. Spent about 8 years in the NFL. Rams, was a terrific, he was a Pro Bowl wide receiver. He was an Olympic gold medalist for the United States in the '84 Olympics. And he's in town for a good cause to raise some money for ALS. And we're going to catch up with him, talk some football. I didn't ask him about Ramit last night, but you may want to play it when it's coming in. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Are you ready to make home
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
The Sports Animal.
All right, just so you know. And our next guest is going to go, oh, no. Now, every week when the Rams win, and it's been a lot lately, we get a little Ram It. But it's been a minute since we've had one of the stars of Ram It, the great video and great song, on the program with us. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us. We'll get back to the phones in a little bit. Oh, there's a great event coming up. ALS tournament is today. ALS annual golf tournament, and it is the biggest ALS tournament in the region, and there are all kinds of former great athletes in town. I got to spend some time last night at an event with Ron Brown, the former Arizona State star, who was a terrific Pro Bowl wide receiver with the Rams back in the 80s. He is a gold medalist in the 1984 Olympics, won a gold medal on that 4x100 team with Carl Lewis, Sam Grady, and Calvin Smith, and had a terrific career with the Rams and is doing great things. And did we lose him? All right, and he just dropped off, so he didn't even get to hear the Ram It. But when you watch, if you watch the Ram It video, he's Speedball Brown, fastest man in town, and JJ, his career, he grew up in the Inglewood area. He grew up right there in L.A., went to Arizona State, played for Frank Kush at Arizona State, ended up getting drafted by the Browns, but he won a gold medal in the Coliseum right near where he grew up. And he played for the Rams right there near where he grew up, and is now one of the things he's doing is making sure that really helping former NFL athletes who played in the NFL, help them with their money. But what a great career. Ron Brown is in town for the ALS tournament. He joins us this morning on the opening drive. Ron, you're on with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How are you this morning?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
It was great to spend some time with you last night. Welcome to Albuquerque. And I'm going to guess would they wake you up with a breakfast burrito of some sort?
Not yet, though, but I'm sure that's in my future, near future.
Yeah, I promise. Hey, so many things I want to go over with you. We're just running down your career, and in the Ram It video, we play that song every week on this air when the Rams win, and it's simply because of me. So Eric Dickerson told me, he says, when I asked him about Ram It, he says, man, I told him at the time it was a bad idea. He said it took all day to shoot that bleeping thing. It was a Tuesday, and we were there till 1 a.m. We had practice the next day. I said, and it lives forever. And he says, and it lives forever. Like, he didn't love it. How do you feel about Ram It? Because it still lives.
Yeah, none of us liked it, though. We all thought it was like a little joke at first, and then all of a sudden we started seeing it everywhere. So it was an all day venture for us, though. But it was it didn't come out right. It didn't come out like we would have liked it to.
You know what I was suggesting, and I told A-Marie and JJ this, when the Rams won this year, they should have done a remake of Ram It with this year's Rams. The same cheesy
it did
song.
Come up. It came up a few times, and then you'll see some little TikTok things where they kind of do a little makeover like that. So it's kind of funny.
I wish they would have done it. How do you feel when the Rams won this year? Are you still a Ram? Like do you still?
Oh yeah, absolutely, I am. And it was great to see them win. Though they played real well.
Yeah,
they deserved it. That's a smart coach they have over there.
Yeah, a smart young coach. Ron Brown is with us. He's a former Ram and a former Olympian. When you look back at your athletic career, are you what's first? Are you a former Olympian? Are you a former Ram? Are you? I know you're Ron Brown the person, but as your athletic career, where do you go to first? Because a gold medal is a pretty special thing.
It was though, and it was a dream come true. But both of them were dreams come true though. But the Olympics was like that individual thing that you work real hard to get to. That can't take that away from you. So I'm going to say the Olympics.
Ron, JJ Buck here. What's that experience like in the Olympics when you're representing your country? You're in that moment for you. What was that time like in your athletic career?
Well, what it was for me, though, because it kind of fast-forwarded, because I was actually drafted in '83. So I put off receiving the money from the NFL to try to make the Olympic team. So being able to actually make the Olympic, and the statement was, I'm going to see if I can represent my country in the Olympics. So to actually make that dream and that statement come true was actually a blessing for me, though. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, Ron, I think we need to put it in perspective because I don't think people remember back then you could not do both at the same time. If you were considered quote-unquote professional and if you'd have played and the Browns drafted you, if you'd have played pro football, you would have waived your amateur status and would not have been eligible to compete in the Olympics, which, by the way, were in your hometown and you got to win a gold medal in your hometown. So it wasn't as easy as just, well, I'm a football player and I'm really, really fast, world-class fast.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that easy though, and Metcalf had a chance to see how that is. That's a different type of speed, that track speed and that football speed.
How do you transform track speed to football? Because there were a lot of guys, Skeets Nehemiah tried to do it. There were a number of guys back in your day who tried to do that, and you did that, I would argue, as successful as anybody has been able to do. Now, there's fast guys. Tyreek Hill's fast. There's fast guys. But you were, if I'm not mistaken, Ron, were you the first track guy who became a Pro Bowl receiver?
No. The Pro Bowler, I think Bob Hayes was
yeah,
the
that's
first,
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
First.
Yeah, you're going way back now. Yeah. But of your era.
Yeah, probably me in my era though. But Bob set the standard.
Yeah, it's different. It's not as easy. Were you a football player first in high school, or were you a track guy first?
Football.
Yeah. Ron Brown.
Football. My high school career, then I started turning into track and started enjoying track and working out and doing extra things.
Yeah, Ron Brown, the former Rams receiver, gold medalist in the '84 Olympics, is with us on the opening drive this morning. He's in town for the ALS golf tournament today.
Ron, what do you think when you watch the game today, and speaking of the speed and the way, everything is oriented to the passing game, do you feel like you could fit in and be dropping some of these big-time numbers if you had to play today?
It would be a different time today than when we played. Because like now it's like defensive backs, they can't even touch the receivers, and we had Eric Dickerson left, Eric Dickerson right when I played. We each caught maybe 3 balls, 4 balls at the max during the game. These guys are catching 10 and 12 and 15 balls a game. It's amazing how the game has changed a lot. It's like it's reversed. It's like 70% passing and 30% running, whereas when I played, it was the other way around.
Yeah, and you had a workhorse in Eric Dickerson, and who I know you're still tight with. And actually, we had him in town, I was telling you, just a few months ago for New Mexico Bowl, and he said a lot of the same things that you said, but I know you stay close with the Rams. Hey, you were talking to me last night about something that is just I was so impressed with. You're really involved with something called Retired Players Congress, which is for the health and welfare of former players. And you were saying some things to me. I think when players come out we always, as lay people, you say, wow, they had a $16 million signing bonus. Where did it all go? And you're like, well, it's amazing how quickly it can go. And so basically, as you've been retired, your initiative is to help players not go through some of the stuff that guys in the past have gone through financially.
Yeah, I do. I want to do that too, though, because I feel like it's by default. So our NFL Retired Players Congress is our program. We're licensed with the NFL. We manufacture NFL apparel, but we have all the NFL, all the major leagues. We have basketball, football, baseball, like that. So, we use the proceeds. Instead of paying the royalty to the NFL, the royalty goes to a trust fund called Players Care, and through that trust fund, we're able for helping players with health and wealth when they retire.
You said something to me
and then we have some big friends in that too, though, because Jerry Jones I have to say this too, though, because Jerry Jones' license with the Cowboys sits outside of the NFL license. The Cowboys have their own deal, and Jerry Jones gave us the license for the Cowboys to help his players, but even help the players before him, like the Tuttle Jones and the Tony Dorsetts and those that played before he owned the team. So that was a big move for Jerry Jones, and we appreciate him doing that for us.
It's a big deal. Simple things. And you were saying, like, for a guy who gets a $16 million signing bonus, you said defer your signing bonus. And I'm like, well, it's a guy who's probably had nothing before. What do you tell him? How do you talk him through this? And I think that was one of the most basic things that people can learn about, kind of what you're doing to help these guys.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we recommend, though, because you can't really tell people what to do with their money, is the deferment, though, because, just through experience and through the years and just watching guys, there's not too much or anything that we can do to make $100,000 a month once we retire. And we've created an $80,000 overhead for ourselves between, investment with uncles and just, trying to be entrepreneurs at the same time playing the game. So once that stops, when you retire, if you get it, depending on where you are in your life, you may make $100,000 or maybe $200,000 a year. So you went from making $100,000 a month to $100,000 a year. You're going to file bankruptcy because there's no way you could keep up with that $80,000 overhead that you have. So the thing that you said to me was the smartest thing. That one player you're talking about that took 30% of his salary.
Yeah.
And lived off of that. That's the smartest thing. That's one of the smartest things to do with that money when you get it. But you're so excited. That day is like a lottery day. You can't wait to buy your mom a new house, and then you buy you a new house. So you made 2 30-year commitments on a 3.5-year career. That's going to catch up to you in some cases.
And then the different Lamborghinis for every outfit, like you were talking about. I mean, you can't go out wearing blue and go in the red Lamborghini.
You can't read, especially when that yellow one looks so nice passing me by. Yeah, so, then those type of investments too, though. But once you get these young men, when they get that money, though, that excitement of getting that money and hitting the lotto, you feel I own the world, I can buy anything, which is true, though, but it just doesn't last.
I think it's so
and that's the sad part. But there's no reason to give us a young man coming out of college that's been on a $1,000 stipend for the last 4 years a month, to give him, a $2 million salary and a $60 million signing bonus, and don't think he's not going to get in trouble. I try to encourage the guys that don't take a percentage of your signing bonus, but defer the signing bonus until you retire, because you'll look at money different. I look at money different in my 60s than I did in my 20s. Everything I had in my 20s were 2 doors. Everything I have now in my 60s is 4 doors. So, even my Prius is 4 doors. So, you look at money different as you go through money. So, Allen Iverson did a great job. His agent did a great job with him by deferring his money to where it put him out 10 years, and then he got a second chance.
It's so good you're doing this.
That was a good move. Also.
Yeah, and a lot of players are benefiting from it, and I'm glad you're doing this. You look like you could still play. I know you'll play some golf today. Have some fun out there. You're going to enjoy Twin Warriors. It should be a beautiful day. Really enjoyed spending some time with you yesterday, and appreciate you spending some time with our listeners today. Best to you. Continued success on what you're doing, and I'll see you out there today.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Good morning.
Be well, Ron. Thank you. Ron Brown, Olympic gold medalist. You as well. Former Ram Pro Bowler. So the whole thing, just that's what impressed me so much is that's what his post career is about. And this gentleman, by the way, looks like he could ball right now, and he's in his 60s. But the fact that's what we're think of it. We have this conversation all the time. How do you expect, a 21-year-old young person who's given all this money and probably doesn't come from a lot? Like you said, all of a sudden you bought your house, you bought your mom a house, you got 2 30-year commitments. The average career is 3.5 years. And now 4 or 5 years later, you're like, well, how am I supposed to, I was getting $100,000 a month. Now I'm making $100,000 a year.
Yep.
And it made a lot of sense. All right, 505-246-0610. Danny Gonzalez will be with us at 8 o'clock, Global football coach. Matt McCoy, the St. Pius baseball coach, coming up at 9 o'clock. Hope you enjoyed that. It's warm now. It's the warmer months. You're out, you're moving, you're doing stuff. Are you the best you guys? If you're not the best you can be, if you're tired too often, maybe dealing with hair loss, weight gain, depression, even erectile dysfunction, NuMale will help you if you call them. They've helped thousands of men all around the country with these exact things, these natural things. The number's 505-652-1688. 505-652-1688 or visit NuMale.com, NuMale.com. The call sometimes is the hardest part. Don't make excuses. Make the call. Because once you do and you visit NuMale, you're going to realize the process is easy, it's comfortable, it works. And guys, the best part about NuMale is the fact that it works. The results are real. Men everywhere feel better. Enjoy being active. Enjoy being you again. NuMale's number 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and enjoy being you again.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite.
And AM 610, the sports animal.
I don't know. Ramit's never going to be the same again. Can we get to the part now? We almost, if the Rams ever win a game, we got to get to the part where I'm Hollywood Brown. I'm the fastest man in town. We got to. It's not Hollywood. It's Speedball Brown. Speedball Brown. We almost got to get to that, don't we? And then we got to get a star of the Vikings song or whatever that is. So the fact that they talked about redoing Ramit.
Oh, it's happening. God, they got to do it.
Don't you think?
Oh,
It'd
my
be
God.
great.
Imagine Matthew Stafford and Cooper.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
it's so funny.
Should have asked about Cooper Kupp. Yep. I mean,
Donald.
yes. That's what I want to
Ramsey,
see.
all those guys. So funny. If Odell stays, he'd be a good one.
All I'm just saying is him and Eric had the same thought on it, huh? And
I told him when I first called him, he's like, "Oh God."
We all thought it was bad. That's what they all got to think, right? We all thought it was a bad idea. We all thought it was a bad idea.
Nope, it lives on.
Yeah, all right.
But so many people enjoy it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Because of
Except the dudes who were in it.
We'll have to edit a really good remix or something.
So if you were in it, if that was you, looking back at yourself
career.
30 years ago, right,
There's
doing
definitely
that.
an element of this thing.
Right?
Like, yeah. But it's so good because of how unbelievably cheesy it is.
And how good it is. So
the Los
It's
Angeles
so
Rams superstars at the time, like, doing ridiculous dances side to side.
just have their hands on the rails
I'm
and just
sure
flipping their
I'm
hips.
sure a lot of other dudes gave him a hard time too.
Well, I'm sure they still do.
So funny.
So that was not the premiere one of those videos, disco-style videos of that era. Super
Yeah.
Bowl Shuffle was the premiere one. The Bears did it. We are the Bears.
Yeah.
Totally crew. Well, I'm not here to cause no. What is it? I ain't here to cause no tussle. I'm just here to do the Super Bowl Shuffle. You've seen the Super
Yes.
Bowl Shuffle, right?
Yes.
That was I'm almost certain the original. The Bears won the Super Bowl, and that was Walter Payton and Richard Dent and Jim McMahon. I mean, that was all their stars. And then everybody started trying to do one. Not everybody, but I mean a lot of them. And so the Rams did Ramit, and I'm going to tell you, Ramit's way outlived the Super Bowl Shuffle, don't you think?
Yes.
I mean, if the Bears get back to the top, you think we're going to start hearing Super Bowl Shuffle a lot?
If they ever get back there, yes.
Have you ever heard Super Bowl Shuffle?
No, I have. I have.
You've seen it, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. I hope you enjoyed Ron Brown.
He's great.
I thought so too. And just to put in perspective what he was in that day. So you can have now a guy who is an Olympic athlete. You could, and played pro football. I don't know who that would be, but this is a guy who had world-class speed, got drafted in '83 by the Browns, and opted to not play. And the Browns traded his right to the Rams because he wanted to run in the Olympics, which were in his hometown. He's an Inglewood kid, Baldwin Park, and went to Arizona State and wanted to run the Olympics. And in '84, the amateurism thing, you could not be considered a professional. JJ, this is when was the first Dream Team? '92?
Yes, it was.
That was the first time. That was when pro athletes were permitted to play in the Olympics. So you had to make a decision. Do you want to forego your pro career in another sport to pursue your dream of being an Olympic athlete? And Ron Brown decided, yeah, that's what he wants to do. And when you look at the team that he was on, and this is honestly, if you go through the Olympics and the history of the United States track and field, that 84 4x100 team, Carl Lewis, Sam Grady, Calvin Smith, and Ron Brown, that's a legendary team. That is a legendary team, and he did it in his hometown in front of his home fans locally. They ran it in. He ran the second leg of that. They ran an Olympic and world record time, 37.83. JJ, a 4x.
That's pretty good.
It's insanity. It's insanity, and so that's why it got pushed together. But and what he's doing now. So I thought that would be. I thought you'd enjoy that. All right. If you want to get into, and we'll do this after we talk to Danny Gonzalez, which is coming up at 8 o'clock. The Phoenix Suns. What's the bigger story coming out of Phoenix and Dallas? Is it the collapse or is it the rise? Because I feel like it's the collapse.
It's the collapse. It is a bigger story.
When the one seed collapse like that, it's a bigger story. Like we could, and I always tell you when I say this,
there wasn't any warning signs.
Well, because we're going to talk about Dallas. So Dallas will be the story going forward, but the collapse is right when the one seed just the bottom falls out.
It's the Suns.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll get into that. 2 Game 7 thrillers in overtime in hockey last night, and Ice Wolves moving on. All the sports happen around here locally. Baseball, softball, track. I mean, it was an insane weekend over there on the corner of Avenida Chavez and University. I know you spent some time over there.
Yes, it was.
I did. They had 15,000 at the ballpark for Isotopes the other night with all the track and field and everything going on. It was, and kudos, by the way, to UNM's facility staff for getting all that done. Danny Gonzalez next. It's the opening drive. Good morning to you. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of Pro
For 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and J.J. Buck.
You hear about basketball signings on a regular basis. Josiah Alec, 6'8" transfer coming over from Kansas City, just joined the Lobos. You had the Udeze signing last week. Richard Pitino's going to be with us this week, working on tomorrow morning to talk about that and what's going on there. The football transfer portal is open as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Glad you're with us on the opening drive. Talk some football, transfer portal, golf, working out, speedsters. We just appreciate Danny Gonzalez spending some time with us throughout the full year on these Mondays. And the head football coach at the University of New Mexico joins us this morning. Good morning, Danny. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great this morning. It's a beautiful day in May. The wind is finally starting to go away, so it's going good. How are you guys this morning?
We need the wind to go away, don't we? Are you playing out in that ALS tournament today?
I am, but I don't tee off till like 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
hopefully the wind will stay away. And shoot, we played yesterday. It was like 95 degrees, so we're getting into our normal Albuquerque summer, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm out on the 1 o'clock as well, and hopefully it's going to die down. I look forward to seeing you out there. Hey, we were just talking to Ron Brown, and I don't know if you remember Ron Brown, but he played at Arizona State for Frank Kush back in the day, and was a track star, and got drafted by the Browns in 1983, but wanted to run in the Olympics in '84. And back in those days, if you were a professional at any status in any sport, you could not participate in the Olympics. So he put off his pro career, ran in the Olympics, was on that relay team, the 4x100 with Carl Lewis back in '84 Olympics in L.A., won a gold medal, and then went on to a career with the Rams. But JJ, we were just talking about this in the break. The track star receiver was really a thing for a while, wasn't it, in football? And I don't know if you guys look at track guys and say, well, he's really fast. Can we turn into a football player anymore? Because that was a thing in the 80s.
It was a big thing, and I remember Ron Brown from my time at ASU. He's a big deal over there, as he should be. You win an Olympic gold medal in anything, and that's an amazing deal. They've tried that with track guys, and track now, it's becoming such a premier sport, and those guys can make a lot of money running professionally, that if you have a talent to run in track, you kind of focus, because the start and your form is so important. Now, I like to see high school football players that either play baseball or run track. We've got a young man in town, Evan Weissong. Well, I'm not talking about recruiting, just what they were able to do. He took first in the 200, second in the 100. The young man from La Cueva, Jason Bates, did a phenomenal job. They both ran under 10.7. That's awesome. So track is really important, and I don't see it much. When you try and turn a nothing but a track guy into a football player, most of the time it doesn't work out good. But some of those guys are such phenomenal athletes, it doesn't matter what sport you put them in, they're going to be successful.
And then you talked just about the form, too, and I know you've been big on multi-sport athletes. What do you think that does just for a kid, that not just the other skills you can develop, but just kind of the freedom to play multiple sports does for them in high school?
Well, one, I think it's good because it keeps them out of trouble. It keeps them occupied. If you've ever played any kind of a sport, one, to be good at it, you're never going to be good doing what's required in anything you do. You've got to do above and beyond. And those guys in high school sports now, they have them working out at 6 a.m. in the morning. They work them out until 7, 8 o'clock at night, which it keeps them off the streets. It keeps them out of trouble. But it's fun. As a little kid, and it's not so much, it started to dissipate. Now it's coming back, getting outside and playing with a ball and a stick and doing whatever. I think it makes you a better athlete. I think football players become better baseball players, become better basketball players because of the different reactions from every sport. So we get a lot of evaluations this time of year from watching kids play baseball and run track. And right now, a big thing that's becoming pretty popular is lacrosse. So you can go out there and watch them. I mean, men's lacrosse is a lot more physical than women's lacrosse.
Yeah.
But women's lacrosse, I mean, watching those athletes out there, those girls are phenomenal athletes. And it's more of a it's just beautiful to watch them throw the ball and do all those wonderful things. I mean, you can get a lot of great evaluations, and I just encourage kids to play every sport they can.
I wish we'd get lacrosse bigger in this state. I think it's such a wonderful, wonderful game. Danny Gonzalez is the Lobo football coach with us on the opening drive. All right, where are you now? So you hit May, the middle of May. School's out, just about out or out. Players are going to go away for the summer. So what's the routine now, if there is any, and how much recruiting are you still doing?
So right now, recruiting is a big deal. We actually had 3 kids in on official visits last week. I can't say his name, but if you look it up on Twitter, the young man that just committed to Oklahoma at quarterback, he got a great name.
General Booty is his name. General Booty.
We had him on campus on Monday, Tuesday, and it didn't come down to an NIL deal or nothing. I mean, I think Oklahoma did a great job, and Brent Venables is a phenomenal coach and going to do a great job there. They did a great job of pursuing the young man and showing him, because they just signed 2 other quarterbacks, but they're only going to be there for a year, and General's got a great future ahead. But we're in those conversations. We had them on campus. We have a couple more quarterbacks coming in this week. We have some old linemen in. We're going to get a defensive lineman and a corner. These are more transfers that we're looking at right now, guys that we anticipate to come in and play right now and help us for next year, just filling in some holes where I think we have some deficits that can help us be a lot more competitive football team. So it's a busy time for the coaches doing that. The other coaches, the assistant coaches, are out on the road recruiting. They have about 2 more weeks of that. Our kids, this 2-week block right here is really the only time they get off in the summer. So they're home. Our weight room is open from 10 to 12, and unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I do think they need a break, but most of them are going to be there. The ones that are in town will be by the weight room this morning, which is a really good sign for our football program. But I really do encourage them to take a break for this 2 weeks, relax their bodies, and then when we hit it on June 1st, it's go time. And August for fall camp is going to be here really, really quick, a lot faster than people anticipate.
Danny, I get this question a lot, and I got it a bunch last night at the ALS dinner. How are the Lobos going to be this year? A couple of former Lobo football players. So how are the Lobos going to be? And I've got my answer, but how do you answer that? Because I think so much of it is contingent on that offensive line. Am I wrong?
No, I think that's 100% the difference of what we're going to be as a football team. I think up front we are a lot more athletic. We're a lot bigger. We're a lot stronger. The offensive line that we played with in the spring is nowhere near what we played with the last 2 years. So I think that gives us a lot of optimism that we're going to be a lot more competitive up front on offense, and then we're doing some really good things schematically now that we've decided this is what we're going to do, and everybody will see when we get out there against Maine on September 3rd. September 2nd. Yeah, September 3rd, excuse me. We'll get that going, and everybody will see. And then on defense, I think we've got a chance to be pretty good on defense this year. Now, we're probably a D lineman short of being great, so we're going to bring in a couple of those guys over the next 2 weeks to see if we can find a missing piece. But I think between Kyler Drake and up front, he gives us something. Jake Saltonstall now in his 3rd year. We've got some pieces up there. And then I think our linebacking core is probably the best in our league. I really believe that. I mean, they look good. They can run. They're physical. They know what to do. They know how to do it. And then we'll be fine in the secondary. So if we can score 21 to 24 points a game, we could be a really good football team because I think we're going to be pretty good on defense.
Danny, how do you feel where you are at now in terms of recruiting, being able to settle in more, have those official visits, and kind of balance the players you want to bring in and develop versus the ones you mentioned that come in and play right away?
Well, I think we're still going to be on a program where we're going to take 90% of our kids are going to be high school kids. We'll take some guys here and there that can fill gaps. The NCAA now is adjusting the rules because of the transfer portal, and they're trying to keep high school recruiting an actual thing. I mean, this year there was 48% less high school kids signed Division I scholarships in December and February than the previous years. I mean, that's half of them. So they've changed you don't have, as of May 18th, we think this is going to pass. You won't have initials anymore. You'll have 85 scholarships, and you can fill them as you need. So we're going to continue to build our program off of high school kids, and then we'll take some guys here and there that we think will be necessary to continue to be competitive and build towards the championship. I think we're headed in the right direction. I don't think we're last year was pretty much exactly what I thought it would be the day I took the job. I think we've made some strides. Now, COVID threw a little bit of a wrench into that because we weren't very strong last year. I anticipated us being a lot stronger and playing a little bit more aggressive football. But we've made some serious strides in the weight room since January. I mean, we had 62 guys squat over 400 pounds, which is, that's a good football team. I mean, you got an opportunity now to do some things and run into people with some impact, and I think it's going to make a big difference.
Danny Gonzalez, Lobo football coach, with us on the opening drive. Is there, outside of offensive line, and you said that one defensive line piece, and I guess quarterback, is that really the focus now? The next, it feels like the next 2 to 3 weeks are really key in this, aren't they?
They are. I mean, we've got the recruiting period goes through June, but we're not doing that because we got a summer camp here. We're teaming up with Special Olympics of New Mexico on June 15th to have a one-day camp here for children with disabilities. We've got some of those things going on, but the next 3 weeks for our 22 football team, I said it way back even when we signed Miles Kendrick, we're going to bring in another quarterback to help compete, to help give that room a little bit more depth. And I think there's some really, really good players out there that we're, one, recruiting, and two, that have an interest in the University of New Mexico, which if a kid, and you can tell right away from the first phone call, if the kid doesn't have interest, then we move on. And so I think the next 2 weeks, watch the news. I mean, I think Richard's doing a phenomenal job. It's a big time for basketball recruiting, and he's done a great job. And anything I can ever do, he knows I'm willing to help them, and he's willing to help us because we're all in this together. I think we've got a great vibe down here on the South Campus, and I think it's helping all sports, and I think it's really important over the next 2 weeks.
No, Danny, you had the opportunity last year. You were able to bring some high school football teams into University Stadium and play some bowl games in the COVID year that those high school athletes didn't get a chance to play those football state playoffs. And then, the facilities you have state track and field. We saw baseball and softball out there. We know how big the pit is when it comes to high school basketball. But just for you to be able to see these high school athletes be able to have that experience, what's it like being on and around campus during those times?
Oh, it's especially here in New Mexico, it's a huge deal. Like you said, the basketball tournament in the pit. When I was going to Valley High School back in the 90s, I mean, that was once we got the basketball season, that was all you focused on was trying to get the opportunity to play in the pit. And I mean, our basketball tournament, there's easily 15,000 people in that arena, and it's an awesome environment. I thought during COVID, unfortunately, we didn't have any fans in the stands, but those young men got to play their championship games in the spring in our football stadium, and I think that's the way it should be. We're going to continue to work with the NMAA to do some of those things, to get the football state tournament, have it a great day of all the games on one day. And there's a little bit of pushback from some of the schools down south, which I understand, but I'm going to keep fighting for it. September 9th, I'm still pushing that to be a big football day in Albuquerque. I've met with Scott Elder, our APS superintendent, and Adrian Ortega, the APS athletic director. The Thursday night, the game is going to be between La Cueva and Volcano on Thursday night, and then we're going to prelude into our game Friday, which hasn't officially been announced yet. But I think those things for our community, we're all in this together, and anything we can do for APS sports and for the NMAA, for New Mexico high school sports, the University of New Mexico athletic department is going to do to make this place better, because we are all in this together. We are New Mexico. I think we should show this weekend. I mean, we were over at your facilities, and with baseball state championships, with softball going on next door, and track and field going across the street, and the Isotopes were able to play with 15,000 on Saturday. And it was. I'm really careful to say back to normal. My phrase has been, it was really back to something that was familiar, back to familiarity this weekend watching the state championships, and hopefully we're all, we are trending in the right place. Hopefully we continue that way. But I said this earlier in the show, what the facility staff over at UNM was able to pull off this week was phenomenal, and with parking and everything else, and just getting everybody in and out. And I'd love to see it for football too. I think Ed Manzanares, who's our facilities director over here, and then Brandon Kendrick and Matt McKernan, those guys are doing a great job. I mean, we had some hiccups, obviously, during the New Mexico State game with some of our new stuff during the football season. We have some challenges with the vaccination requirement and all those things during basketball. And I thought those guys did a phenomenal job of working their way through those things, and we continue to get better. I agree with you. I thought this weekend was outstanding with the state tournament, with the track meet out there. You still have Ice Coast baseball going on. I mean, they had 15,000 people over there the other night. So, I mean, we're coming back. Albuquerque is getting back, and I agree with you, Jeff. I refuse to use the word new normal. We just need to get back to who we are.
Yep.
And people are starting to get more comfortable. I mean, thank God that people are staying healthy. And, I mean, our hospitals are doing a phenomenal job of staying healthy and working. I mean, when our little one was sick a couple weeks ago, they did a phenomenal job of treating us. So we're heading in the right direction, just like you said, and we're going to be back there. And by the fall, I expect some big things. I mean, we're going to have I love to say this, we're going to have a circus-type atmosphere at our football games this season. Obviously, having a better football team will help that, and we just want to give the people an opportunity to come out and want to come back again.
Yep, I won't use new normal either. I'll stay with familiarity until we're back to normal, the regular normal.
Exactly.
Good old normal. Hey, I'll see you out there today. Appreciate the time, as always. Hit them straight and long today.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks for all you guys do. It's been a great show so far, so go out there and knock it out the rest of the way. And A-Marie, I mean, she's got some things coming up. I'm willing to help whatever you can do. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you soon. Have a great week.
Be well, Danny. Thank you. Danny Gonzalez, Lobo football coach. And just he's so good for this community. I'm just telling you. He promotes his program as he should, and realize that promoting the community as a whole is going to help that cause. And I love a person who sees the big picture. 505-246-0610. We're open until 9 o'clock when Matt McCoy, the St. Pius baseball coach, will be with us. We'll talk about their state championship. Your vehicle, how's that looking? Dirty, filthy, covered with yuck? Yep, windy. We've had all kinds of stuff lately except for rain. Probably dirty inside and out. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They'll take care of that for you. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will come to you wherever it is, whenever it is convenient. They'll detail your vehicle, and when they're done, your car will look and feel like the day you took it off the lot. Did I say come to you? Yes, I don't know where they are, but they know where you are. They know where I am. I'm working. I'm in the office. They're in the parking lot. They're working as well. You get a buzz. You go outside. A text buzz, not kind of that buzz. You get a text. Well, I mean, whatever you do. But then you go outside, and your vehicle is spotless, under the hood, shiny, like the day you took it off the lot. Remember how fun it was? They also offer ceramic coating, which they apply by hand, the best way to protect your paint for years. Paint correction, sap removal as well, and a 10% discount for our military. Great Father's Day gift, boys and girls. That's coming up. Scheduled today. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, 505-859-2859, 505-859-2859, or visit them at otsdetailing.com.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports.
It's yours now. I probably should get to some of your emails, shouldn't I? They're coming in kind of quite a rate. 505-246-0610 is how to call us. Jeff or JJ at sports@abq.com is how to find us on the email machine. Text us. Ooh, let me open up the text line, too. Should be pretty standard, shouldn't it? 505-246-0610. Opening drive, Jeff Sabieta, JJ Buck, A. Marie. Bob Hayes was brought up, and that's right. The first track guy that really, that played football, and that's 100% right. We were talking to Ron Brown earlier, the former Ram receiver who had a good career with the Rams and then won a gold medal in the Olympics. All right, so we're open for you. The National Hockey League last night, Flames get a overtime goal and beat the Stars. And I don't know if you guys watch any of this stuff. I don't know if you watch any of the hockey. I don't know how much you watch. But the Calgary-Dallas game last night was bonkers. And it was 3-2. Jake Ottinger is the goaltender for the Dallas Stars. He faced 67 shots and saved 64 of them and lost. 64 saves in a playoff in Game 7 and lost. Calgary beat them 3-2. And then a great series. Rangers were down 3-1 to the Penguins, came back and won Game 7 last night. They were down last night in the third and end up winning in overtime 4-3. So the Rangers move on, as do the Calgary Flames. How about a couple of and how about, we can't not talk about Toronto. Toronto loves the hockey as much as any city loves any. As much, if you think if St. Louis loves baseball, right? Toronto loves hockey more. Right? Toronto loves hockey as much as any sport loves, or any city loves any sport.
Yes.
What's it been, JJ? How long since they won a playoff series? Was it 1990 what?
2004.
2004.
Oof.
And they lose them in the most excruciating fashion, don't they?
Yes.
It's just insane that it's been that long for the Maple Leafs.
Yep.
But they have a good team.
Yes.
Austin Matthews, John Tavares. They got legit studs and leaders. And just the heartbreak. It's one that, that is one that's coming. Game 7, this is not going to end well for them. And it didn't.
No. All right, let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. Hello, Lenny.
How you doing? Well, I'm going to do a couple of topics, but let's stick with hockey first. whether you're a hockey fan or not, and you don't want to admit it, hockey is the best game to watch, period.
Well, playoffs, certainly.
And hockey playoff is one of the best you're going to see. Just take it in. The Ranger game itself, I mean, I was flying out of my seat watching what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they were outshot last night 45-30 and still pull out the win. But to come from 3-1 down for any team, that's a choke job.
So you think the Penguins choked, huh? Now, they were without, I mean, they had some significant injuries when
Well,
Sid got
what
hurt.
I don't understand is their starting goaltender is available after he's been out since April. Why put him in a Game 7 and not stick with what got you there? I don't
Got you
understand
where,
it.
though?
And I never heard of this. I never heard of Gunsel until this series.
Yeah, but
8 goals in 7 games.
Yeah, now you heard of him. Did you see the goal? What was it?
That one where it popped up in the air, he hit it with his shoulder, and then batted it in with the stick.
Well, he kind of kicked it up like a hacky sack, and it was shoulder high and batted it in. It was insane.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I mean, but I never heard of the guy in the series, but he's gone off.
You know who he is now.
So that was good. Now let's go to the Phoenix Suns, who are now set finally. How do you only score 10 points?
How do you score 26 and a half?
And get outscored by one player?
Yeah.
That was an embarrassing defeat. And there's something going on really bad between Ayton and the team if he only gets benched and plays 17 minutes.
Yep.
So I don't see him coming back.
Well, he's a valuable piece. Is his contract up? He's got another year.
His contract's up. He's a restricted free agent. They were supposed to offer him a deal at the beginning of the year, and they didn't. So they have to sign him. Devin Booker's eligible now for a supermax because he's an all-pro.
And he'll
then you got Mikal Bridges' contract. So does Sarver want to go into the salary cap or do a sign-and trade and get rid of Ayton?
So is that a destination for free agents? Because I would tell you I think it is. Now, I don't know what the great free agents is. I haven't looked at the market this year. But that feels like it would be.
Is it a destination for free agents? It's hard to say.
Why wouldn't it be?
At one time, well, I mean, it's better than other cities. I mean, would you rather play there or play in Minnesota?
Dude, let me just tell you, athletes love the Phoenix area. It's the weather is terrific. Yeah, it's hot in the summer, but there's so much to do. There is a lot of talent there. I mean, they just love that area. And I mean, who doesn't love that area?
No, I just feel I don't feel bad for the Suns. I'm glad that Doncic and them finally stood up, but I'm going to give Jason Kidd credit.
Yes.
Because he pulled Doncic to the side and said, if you start passing the ball more, your teammates will step up.
Yeah,
He did about 3 games ago, and look what happened.
Good on Jason Kidd then. Yeah, I mean, we've been taking a lot of heat for being, is he a good coach or not? As much heat as he had to take, whether it was in Milwaukee or for them evidently underperforming in the playoffs, then if he's got to take all the heat for that, then you got to give him a little credit for turning this thing around.
And I got them beating the Warriors in 6.
Okay.
And I got Boston beating Miami in 6.
Fair enough. Boston
right now, since they made the trade for Horford and Theis and Derek White, have had the best record in the NBA.
I'm on Boston Golden State for the record.
No, and that's fine. I mean, Golden State's there, but they're going to have a hard time stopping Doncic.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And look, Steph better get out of the shooting slump. Yeah. Yeah,
and if Dinwiddie steps up and Dorian Finney-Smith steps up and some of the others, they're going to give him a chance. Now, could Golden State turn around and win the series in 5 games? Yeah, but I'm just going to go with I think this is Dallas's year.
Right on.
They mentally got over the hump of what happened the past 2 playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's a big piece, too, the mental piece, and realizing. And look, I think Golden State's a little wobbly right now. They
are a little wobbly, but I just don't think if Doncic is going off and passing and you have to put 2 people on him, and Dinwiddie could even play 2/3 of what he played last night,
well,
because that was the first pair of teammates to have 30 points in a Game 7 since Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, which is amazing, by the way.
And
I think
congratulations to the Cincinnati Reds for pitching a
no-hitter
and walking in the winning ways.
That's how bad it is, man. I mean, when you're that bad and you're sitting at the bottom of the standings and you're kind of historically bad as they are right now, and the Cincinnati Reds are off to a 9-26 start, worst record in baseball by far. They throw a no-hitter. All right. Hey, but you lost. Wait,
Don't you wish they had relegation in baseball like they do in soccer?
What, so you could bring up the Sacramento River Cats or something, or what?
anything right now. Could you imagine being a season ticket holder for the Reds?
Sugarland Skeeters. Yeah, it would stink. Baseball. I mean, it's a long season. People still come out and drink beer and watch the other guys. But yeah, it would be.
Yeah, but I just never seen a no hitter and you lost.
Well, it's happened. I think 6 times before. So.
It's amazing. You got to give them congratulations.
I did. Yeah, congratulations. All right, I got to hit this break. Thanks, Lenny. Good to hear you.
Have a good one.
Later. There was a lot in that phone call. Actually, a lot of really good stuff. Klay Thompson on Luka to start, right?
No, probably Andrew Wiggins.
You go bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Clay's not that dude right now.
You don't think so?
No.
So
No,
is
not
Andrew Wiggins that dude?
No one's that dude to stop Luka.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're going to throw 2 at him, and his point's right. I mean,
Their shooting needs to get back, or they don't have a chance.
I think Amory's so dead on, and I was concerned about them
Stop
the
the
other
de-
night until the fourth quarter when they started to finally hit shots. And it was interesting that when they needed to, they did. But that team feels a little wobbly. Can we talk about the Warriors when we get back?
Absolutely.
All right, we will do that. 505-246-0610. Who's watching your home? Hopefully it's the good guys and not the bad guys. Look, you know that property crime has been on the rise for a long time in this town, and that the numbers of deputies and the numbers of police officers and law enforcement have been down. So I called Aaron Jones in IPS a long time ago, and I suggest you do as well. I know it sounds expensive. Private security, who can afford that? It's about $5 a day. And you can get a patrol, armed guards, patrol, highly trained to come by and look at your business, watch your home. They'll come by at least twice a day. When you're gone, they'll pick up newspapers, garbage cans get rolled to the curb and back on garbage day. The trash cans are taken care of. Like mail, they'll pick up if you want. If you get a package dropped off, they make your home look lived in, and they really give you that peace of mind. I've worked with them for years. I believe in what they do, and I think there might be something there for you. Aaron's from here. He's passionate about making Albuquerque a safer place to live and work. They watch your home. They watch your business. Highly trained armed guards with 24-hour patrols. Committed to our city and your protection. Give IPS a call at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420, or visit them at ipsglobal.com.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50
thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to
Friday night, Golden State defeats Memphis 110-96. The spurt ability of the Warriors. That's why I wasn't worried about Golden State. Memphis played a really good series. They were tough without Ja Morant. But not worried in that series. Memphis did not have the closer without Ja Morant. In the fourth quarter of that game Friday night, 32-19.
Yep.
The advantage for Golden State. It just takes a couple. Saw Steph hit some shots. Saw Klay Thompson have a big game. They were 14 of 31 combined from three.
So do you feel like in that fourth quarter, the Warriors solved their shooting issues, or they just they're champions and they figured out? I mean, because they knew going back Game 7 in Memphis was something that just wasn't an option for them. I mean, they temporarily cured. I don't know what the word is. They temporarily came out of their slump and they stepped
the
up when they
stars
had
played. There's only 3 players that played off the bench.
Yeah,
only one of them played like 20 or more minutes. The rotation was tight because it had to be.
Yep.
They didn't have the depth.
All
it
right.
was a game that if they went back Game 7, they would have been in a lot of trouble. The
100%.
Warriors did not solve anything in that game.
So
but
and
they
that's
showed
kind of
you
my point.
That while they might not be as consistent as the Splash Brothers that we've seen, even against the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic coming in hot, even with some of that roller coaster ride that they're going to be on, this is 7 games written all over it.
So I like Golden State in this, okay? But I can see the Mavericks winning. Like, this to me is not a slam dunk. I like Golden State because not because they're at home, but they're champions, the core of them. And I believe at some point Curry and Klay get out of their shooting slump. But at some point that shooting slump, I mean, it's been a minute now. It's not like it was
but you
just
still have 2 players that you can count on. You can tell me all you want about Spencer Dinwiddie. That's 1 in 7. That's 1 in 8 games.
Yeah,
that dude will give that to you.
And you got guys here,
So
and I'll count on Jordan Poole too.
That's the X factor in the series.
He was 4 for 15 in the game the other day.
Jordan Poole, Spencer Dinwiddie. That third.
So who would you prefer?
four.
All right, it's your pick right now. You've got Luka and you've got Brunson. I got Klay and Steph. It's your pick. Who you taking? Poole or Dinwiddie?
I'm going to take Spencer Dinwiddie.
All right, I'm glad you did because I would have taken Poole. So,
well, the one thing with Spencer Dinwiddie, where he's been way more inconsistent at times, being the role player off the bench, he's been a leader in this moment. Like that before the Brooklyn Nets got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, that team went on a little run, and Spencer Dinwiddie was at the core of that with Kenny Atkinson. So I think Spencer Dinwiddie, while I'm not counting on a 30-point game,
probably best,
that he's a player that I think his experience is really going to show out. And I think Jordan Poole did learn a lot about that Memphis series. It's not as easy as it was in round 1, and it's going to be the same thing. The Mavs have some really good defensive numbers throughout the entire season that people just don't realize because we never talked about them like that.
So here's one thing, and we talk about it in hockey a lot. I don't know that we talk about it enough in the NBA, it is a different game in the playoffs. It's tighter rotations. It's more physical. Now, I don't know if the referees are letting you play more physical. I think they are, as long as they don't have to go to the monitor and see, oh, well, you might have brushed somebody in the face. Like
know.
By the way, JJ's playing hurt. You know that? Like, if there was video of the flag football game yesterday, it would have been a flagrant one. JJ's going deep, looks up for a pass, and some dude just punched him in the mouth. Have you seen his mouth? Like, dude's got is that fair? Fat lip?
Oh, yeah. You can see it a little bit on ProView, definitely.
I'll have to check it
Like,
out.
JJ's playing hurt. Yeah. I mean, ooh, look at the colors on that under lip right there.
gosh.
I mean, right? Huh?
Dang.
So JJ's playing.
A little puffy.
Yeah. Yeah. But in the NBA, we talk about the National Hockey League being a different game all the time. The NBA is a different game. It's much more physical. I will tell you, defense, possession to possession, is exponentially different in the playoffs than it is in the regular season.
I think the word that works, it's tighter. Everything tightens up a little bit. I actually think they've been over-reffing the playoffs
I think
to
that's
this point.
fair.
I'm a little tired of everything being physical. Oh, got to go to the monitor. Simmer down a little bit, y'all.
What do you make of the old school guys going, these guys couldn't play in our day, that it was physical? I mean, look, you've seen the videos, and I lived through it, the 80s, the lame beard, the bad boys just knocking dudes
Different
out.
rules, man.
All right, but the guys say they couldn't play in our day, and these guys going, well, you guys weren't good enough to play in our day, right? I mean, like could Bill Laimbeer, could some of you guys, could Kurt Rambis, could you guys have played in our day? And
there's a couple guys that obviously could not.
Couldn't what?
Like, what is Bill Laimbeer's role? Like, today they put him in today's game.
Bill Laimbeer had some skill. Now, it wasn't just there to beat the hell out of people. Bill Laimbeer had some skill. The highlights,
some guys that are playing today that couldn't survive back then.
Yeah, I mean, the highlights you see are of him. You go back on. I don't know if you can find any highlights of Bill Laimbeer,
playing basketball.
But in fact, he was a pretty decent player. It wasn't literally just him knocking dudes out with clotheslines.
He could be the Kayvon Looney.
Although
of today's
dude,
game.
Kayvon Looney had 22 rebounds the other night. Kayvon Looney went out and balled the other night. He had 22 rebounds and 4 points. You think he was valuable?
He's very valuable.
I mean, that's like a Dennis Rodman stat line back in the day. There are plenty of dudes. I think that's a role. I'm listening to both eras now. There was like I don't know how I came across some Twitter argument the other day, and I just was reading through it. You guys couldn't play in our day. No, you couldn't play in our day. No, you couldn't. The old school guys are going, you guys are too soft, and you couldn't handle getting hit, and you couldn't handle having defense played on you. And these guys are going, well, you guys weren't worth a damn. You couldn't ball. You couldn't. You're not good enough to play today with as deep as our league is. And I think the answer probably lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, there's players in every era that might find themselves on the outside looking in, but I'm going to bet on the majority of professional athletes, whatever sport we're talking about, that if you said, all right, this is the game you're playing right now, that they could figure it out.
They could adapt, yeah. But I listen to a lot of shut up, old man. You can play now. But we had Ron Brown on today. Ron Brown played for the Rams.
He would be a 1,000-yard receiver today.
Well, okay, so Ron Brown was a Pro Bowler. Ron Brown was an Olympic gold medalist, world-class speed, but you asked him about today's game, and he talked. What was the first thing he said? Well, right, today you can't touch a receiver. Back when I was playing, like all the rules have been, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Back in his day, they could maul him. They could put their hands all over him. Here, now you come too close to a guy or you get tangled with a guy, and it's a defensive pass interference. We've had this conversation every Monday during football season on bad pass interference calls, right? Let him play football. If Ron Brown played today, and by the way, I think he's 60. Dude looks like 61. Dude looks like he could play today. But if he played today with that kind of speed, I mean, he's Tyreek Hill-ish, right? He get because they can't touch him. He's not wrong, but that was a guy who came on our show today and said, well, I mean, back when I was playing, ... You think he's wrong? Or was that just old man being bitter?
No.
He's not wrong.
And they've also made changes for a reason in all these sports. And it's about constantly trying to find that balance. Having a good game, allowing some physicality, but also being a game where you do have to showcase.
Well, I think in that case, they've over-litigated, over-officiated, over-governed, over...
Because you got to find... All right, the difference between bump and run coverage,
yeah,
trying to get a play off a spot versus just straight up hanging off a guy's jersey.
Would you agree with me that watching a football game, half of that contact's initiated by the receiver.
Oh, yes. It's going both ways. Holding, jersey pulling, you name it.
We're going to talk some baseball coming up at 9 o'clock. Matt McCoy is the head baseball coach at St. Pius. They won their 12th state baseball championship this weekend, beating their rivals 15-2 over Academy. That's coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. We're open for you. I'm going to get you a bunch of your correspondence that you've been sending me as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, A. Marie, and Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor.
Points, 10 boards, 50% field goal percentage. You don't last 14 seasons in that league without talent. It's from Gopher. And Gopher, to JJ's defense, if all you saw were highlights of Bill Laimbeer, if you're of his generation, JJ is in his 30s. You didn't watch them play, and all you see is the bad boys, and you see him beating the hell out of people. That's what you would think. He was just out there being a goon, like a hockey goon. And so in his defense, that's what you see.
And a lot of the times too, it's in the old school versus new school. Old school never talks about basketball; they just talk about physicality.
How physical it was. Yeah, and there were ballers, dude, and that's I think like some of the conversation gets lost in old school.
Bro, the dream team came through that.
Well,
and the dream team is some of the best players we've ever seen.
Well, and we always have this conversation. If you put together this generation's dream team, and I don't even know when that would be, maybe this century, right? And you could never play them because you could never play generations. But who had a better dream team was first of all, I'm telling you, I got Magic, I got Jordan, and I got Bird. Right? And look what I got here. I mean, how you beating that? And then you'd say, well, I got LeBron and I got Kobe and I got Tim Duncan. Whoa. Right? Where would you go with it? So and what's old school? Is old school the 80s? Is it George Mikan? Is it Elgin Baylor?
Was that really where the physicality took over?
What do you mean?
Just that mindset. Like, what was it like in the 70s?
Well, it was the 70s was physical. It just wasn't as see, the NBA didn't have the heyday in the 70s. If you go back to that, just the Wes Unseld team, the Washington Bullets that beat Seattle in, what does it say, 71. You look at some of the Knicks teams of the 70s. Yeah, it was physical. There was do you know the name? Well, you know who Rudy Tomjanovich is, right? Mm-hmm. He coached the Rockets for a long time. Do you know the name Kermit Washington?
Dude who broke his face?
The dude who broke his face. I mean, now that wasn't physical basketball. That was just
a cheap shot.
I mean, he just punched him in the face and broke. Kermit Washington at the Forum, played for the Lakers, and was just tired of Rudy Tom Johnson's mess and turned around, punched him in the face, and broke his face and ended his career basically. And it was like, it wasn't even a flag. I think they gave him a technical and played on. No, I'm kidding.
Like, just put some dirt on it. Let's go.
But go back and watch some of the. I know it seems ancient, but if you watch some of the stuff from the 80s and 90s, and
They're
Magic
good basketball
Johnson,
players.
they're
great.
dude,
I love
ball.
hardwood classics. I do think that for some reason, old school hoop fans get caught up on that physicality narrative.
Well, because it's
way
part of
too
it.
much.
Yeah,
because we watched it. Michael Jordan got beat up by the Pistons. So what did he do? He got stronger. It was part of the game.
Well, look at the way Shaq was defended, and that's the 2000s, right? The way Shaq was defended was, I mean, they had dudes hanging on him all the time. They beat the crap out of him. But Isaiah could ball, and Bird and Magic could ball. Yeah, it gets lost. Now, it was physical. You go to the rim and you get knocked down. There wasn't, oh my goodness, and we're going to go to the monitor, and is it a flagrant 1 or is it a flagrant 2? No, it's a damn personal foul. Get up and let's play. Matt McCoy, when we get back, we're going to talk a little high school baseball. St. Pius won another state baseball championship this weekend. We're going to have a conversation with Matt next. He's the head coach of St. Pius on the opening drive, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
It's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years.
would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Out of us. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is The Opening Drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cimbietta, and JJ Buck.
Well, the high school sports season came to a conclusion on Saturday past. And with 2 outs in the 5th, as St. Pius was in the midst of closing out a Mercy Rule victory in the 4A state championship against their arch rivals, the Albuquerque Academy Chargers. Fireworks across the street were going off, poetically so. Isotopes game had ended, and so was the high school season coming to an end. St. Pius wins their 12th, their 12th baseball state championship in the history of the school, avenging a loss last year to Academy. 15-2, the Sartans put it on the Chargers. It's the opening drive. Jeff Cimbietta and J.J. Buck, the head coach of a very, very proud team, Matt McCoy, joins us this morning on the opening drive. Congratulations, Matt. I'm going to guess it was a fun week at a celebration for you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just still a little bit, right? Walking on the clouds a little bit with after a victory, even a tight victory, but especially a victory like that. Especially against a team like that.
I asked your senior pitcher, Nolan Easterly, who pitched a 4-hitter, had 4 RBI, had 3 hits, a single, a double, a triple. I said, what's sweeter, winning a state championship, avenging the loss against your rivals last year, or beating your rivals 15-2 in Mercy Rule fashion? And I think his response was yes. For you, what's sweeter?
Oh, man, what a funny kid. Wow.
And it can be yes, it can be all the above.
I'm going to say yes, too. Absolutely. All 3 of those combined into one, especially if you can wrap them all into one day, right? One game, that's the best. That's the best way to do it.
So what was the difference of that? Because you played them once this year. They were up on you 3-0. You come back and beat them in extra innings. So you had a 1-run game this year. You had a 1-run unbelievable state championship game last year. They walk off, and then you come back and you run them off the field in the state championship. What was the difference in your mind?
I think preparation. We a heck of a coaching staff. Jim Stebbins, Gary Romero. We saw probably 5 or 6 of their games this year, and we knew where they were standing in the box. We knew their tendencies. We knew. During the game, I had Chris Mondragon just always shifting our defense. Every batter that came up, we kind of took 3 or 4 steps to the right, 3 or 4 steps to the left, 5 or 6 steps back with Devin Johnson up. We couldn't let that guy beat us again. And that lineup 1 through 9 is brutal. It's brutal to face, and we had a very, very good defensive plan in place, but to make that all come and to make it all work, we needed an amazing pitching performance.
And you got it.
And we got that.
Yeah, and of course, Devin Johnson, who you alluded to, was the Chargers junior at the time, senior this year, who had the walk-off hit last year in the state championship. Right. Matt McCoy is the head baseball coach at 4A state champion St. Pius.
Matt, if people aren't familiar with St. Pius Academy, what is that rivalry like? What are these games like between the two teams?
God, I've answered this question a couple times this weekend, and it's hard to explain. So I've been at Pius since 2007, and I graduated from Pius in '89. And back in the day, it was the same thing. Is you don't lose to Academy, and you start that the second you put on black and gold, and we preach that to our kids, and I guess now the difference. So back in 2007, 2008, it was a heated rivalry as far as there was just tension, and there were times where guys coming out of the dugout and that sort of stuff, and now it's really not tension. It's just more really, really good respect for that opponent, and I think the reason for that is, myself and Chris Alexander, we're buddies, and
Academy's coach.
We know we've coached together, we've coached against each other. He's a great guy, knows the game. He's an exceptional baseball player, right? And he teaches them how to do the right things right, and I think that's the reason for the kind of shift in just a really tense game of heated,
just keeping
rough.
it clean.
Yeah. But now it's just respect for that opponent, and as we walked down the line last year in 21, it was respect for that opponent, and shook their hands and told them congratulations, and it was the same thing this year. Told them respect, and hey, like Ethan Krebs, Devin Johnson, Alex Gato, all those guys, that Henry Mitchell that we faced for the last 4 or 5 years, because they can play in 8th grade. I look over to my assistant coach Gary, and he says, "God, how long do how many years can these guys go to school here? Like, it seems like we've been facing Devin and Henry for the past 7 years, and
no more."
It's tough, man. That's a brutal lineup, 1 through 9, and nothing but respect for those guys.
Matt, we sit here and every day, and we're talking about professional sports, reacting to the playoffs, and we're talking about professional athletes and what they need to learn, what they have to do. What do you see in a high school kid? Go through a moment where you lose a championship game in your teenage years. What kind of lessons did they learn? How do you go about handling it with young kids in emotional times and that growing process?
Right, man, and I say it all the time. Like we're teaching this game, and but we're still dealing with 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old brains between their ears, and it's a lot of developing, a lot of just teaching about life, right? About those life skills and coping with loss, with everything, and there's different ways to handle that stuff. And last year we didn't really focus on the loss. We focused on what lessons we can learn from that loss. And this year we kind of, the boys, they wanted redemption, and they knew that they had the ability to get back to that game. The road was tough this year, man. Our teaser's not easy. You
lose your shortstop.
Almost pushed us to the limit, and we knew that we had the ability to get back. It was going to take a lot from us, and they never wavered. They got there. They pushed. They marked the box, right? And we talked about that all year too. Is just checking the next box. What's your next goal? What can you accomplish? And I told them on Saturday, there's only one thing left to do. There's one box left to check. Let's go check that box tonight.
He's Matt McCoy, the head coach of St. Pius, the 4A state baseball champions, and you went through a lot of adversity. You lose your starting shortstop. He broke his hand in practice on Monday, played on Thursday and Friday, hurt himself again, ends up with a broken hand. So you had guys filling in. But I wonder how much you talk about last year, you talk about redemption. Nolan Esterly told me after the game, he says, this has been in my cross since then. He said, this is something that I've thought about all year. I saw James Trujillo's quote, we really wanted to stick it in their hearts this year, is what he said. I don't know if you talked about it as a coaching staff. Maybe you did, but how often did last year come up in conversation as a group?
Too many times probably, right? It's something we needed to overlook a little bit and put away. But it was the same thing. Like it burned a hole in my memory too. And I thought about, I thought about that game way more than I ever thought about the 2019 championship that we won. And I had a player a few years back, Andrew Mulberger, that always said that. He said, we won, he said he won, 50, 60 games as a varsity player, but he always remembered the 4 losses that he had or whatever, and those ones always stuck with him the most. And that's it's the truth. Those losses stick with you much longer than the victories.
When we look at the state of New Mexico, and it kind of has this reputation, especially when we're talking about high school sports, because of the state tournament at the Pit, it becomes basketball. But there's been some incredible baseball talents come through the state. In your time in this sport, how have you seen the development of baseball overall at the high school level?
I mean, they're with the clubs now, and with these guys, just they want to succeed. So, as I think the biggest fear is, again, Gary, my assistant coach, sent me a little meme on prom night, saying prom night is the scariest night of a baseball coach's life,
or at a father's life, by the way. But
yeah, oh, for sure. But these guys, we take that. I mean, they've all got fathers in their lives, but we take that role for this, this time, and I tell them all the time, like, behave, be careful, be safe, call us, let us know what you need. What can we do to make you safe, make you happy, make you, wake up tomorrow where you need to wake up? And we get those guys and we tell them, I was telling a couple of those guys on Saturday night after the game, be careful, be safe. And I had more than one guy saying, I'm going to go to the cage and hit tonight. So
after winning the state championship,
they're not going to go celebrate. They're not going to go relish in this victory. They're going to go work hard tonight, the night that they just won state championship, and work harder to get back there next year.
And that's why St. Pius won.
Difference.
Yeah, and that's the difference.
The difference in players.
That's why you've won 12 championships at that school, and the most recent was just 2 nights ago, 15-2 in 5 innings over Academy. Hey, Matt, it's a pleasure. I really enjoyed the conversation. Loved watching your team play. They were scrappy. They were aggressive. I told you the other night, I thought you forced them into making mistakes. You were aggressive. You forced the action. Timely 2-out hits. Good fielding. Guys filling in. You lose your shortstop, and Luke Martinez comes in and plays great. Gets a game-winning hit in the semifinals. That's what team baseball is, and that's what makes champions. Appreciate the conversation. Appreciated watching your club play the other day. Congratulations. Enjoy it, and hopefully we'll catch up and do this again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Be well. Matt McCoy. That's pretty good, actually. And JJ, this was 2-out hits. Their starting pitcher, Nolan Esterly, pitched out of a bases loaded 1-out jam, gave up no runs in the first. They get 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 9 in the fifth. Squeeze plays and aggressive base running, and that's how you win games. That's how you win championships. 505-246-0610. It's yours the rest of the way. If you want to get in on that, you can. Any of the baseball, any of the high school stuff over the weekend is on the table for you as well. Hey, what's your financial goal? Well, you got a few of them, don't you? Kirtland Federal Credit Union has products and personal services that can get you to achieve whatever it is your goals are. If you're looking to improve your home, you can turn the value of your home into cash, and then you can use that for home improvements, upgrades, whatever it is. Looking for a new home? Choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs and partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts. Looking to buy a car? Competitive rates, unbeatable service. They will help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments with which you can live. Planning for retirement? Investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Federal Credit Union's financial services. Talk to an advisor today and start walking the path to a confident future. They can help you. Just get a hold of them. Stop by any branch or visit them online. It's kirtlandfcu.org, kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for complete details.
The Jim.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence.
610, the sports animal.
All right, I got a bunch of correspondence from you. It's yours the rest of the way. 505-246-0610. Lobo Golf, men's golf, NCAA regionals. They are on the back 9 now, round 1. There will be 3 rounds. They're playing in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Palm Beach Garden, not just Palm Beach. Palm Beach Gardens. Lobos are currently tied for 4th. They were in 3rd a second ago. tied for fourth with College of Charleston at 1 over par as a team. Just 3 strokes behind the leaders. Vanderbilt's leading at -2, Little Rock at -1, and South Florida, which must be somewhere near Palm Beach Gardens, they're even. So Lobos playing well. They are being led this early round by Matthew Watkins, who is 1 under par, and then Sam Choi and Boston Amat, both even par. So I'll keep you up to date on Lobo golf at the NCAA regionals. That's going on right now. I just always like when we have sports that are actually happening while we're on the air. Because, when we're doing the morning show, you don't get that very often.
Usually just golf tournaments.
Usually just golf tournaments. 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, J. Buck, A. Marie. All right, so your boy Drew Brees isn't going to be with NBC next year. And who knows where he's going to be, but according to Drew Brees, he's undecided. Quote on his Twitter, I may work for NBC. I may play football again. I may focus on business and philanthropy. I may train for the pickleball tour, senior golf tour, coach my kids, or all of the above. I'll let you know. Wait. What was in there? May play football again. I may work for NBC. I may play football. I may focus on business, philanthropy. Rewind. What?
Starting a trend.
Okay, no way. Right? No, right? 43, he wasn't good when he played last time. He just had shoulder surgery. His coach is not with the Saints anymore. I get it if he would want to come back and get a piece of a contract like Tommy just got. No way, right? Like, this is just a guy just having fun, blowing stuff on Twitter so idiots like us will talk about it, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm done talking about it. Or at least
Dennis Allen, the new Saints head coach,
Yeah.
said today he believes it was said in jest.
I think he hopes so. Look, I don't even know. I don't want to further this. I don't want to fuel this. There's not a spot where you say, yeah, Drew Brees goes there and it works. It's not a rebuild mode. It would be to find, can Drew Brees put them over the top? Can he put the 49ers over the top? He was not good the last time we saw Drew Brees.
It would only be with the Saints.
Okay, but his head coach is not there anymore.
But
Is
the
he the
owner's
guy?
there.
Is he the guy that puts the Saints over the top? Do you feel like if Drew Brees all of a sudden today said he signed with the Saints, are you putting them as a favorite in that division?
I don't
or in that
feel
conference?
better about the Saints with Drew Brees.
Me neither. Me neither. There's just nothing to feel better about. He looked old and finished, right? Now he's 43. He's older and finished-er.
Finished her.
Right?
Yeah, he's retired. Stay retired.
Look, this whole...
And I like him as a commentator.
He was fine, but he's not going to be
fine.
with NBC. I mean, he was fine. I don't think he was great. I don't think he was
No.
horrible. Fine. It's like any of the rest of them, man. Like it's a hard job, and if you're fine, then you're good because that means they'll keep you around for a while. But the noise that this created last night, the seismic, I mean, it wasn't like an 8.6 on the Richter scale, but it surely registered amongst the NFL Twitter and the conversation. It was like, Drew Brees is coming back. Stop it. Coming back to what? The hell's he coming back to? I like Drew Brees. And everything I know about him, you kind of like him as a person, and that's fine. But really? He doesn't make anybody better right now. Like, at some point, who's undefeated again?
Father Time.
Damn right. Never lost. I just... All right, so are we done with that?
We done.
I thought it was more exciting that Landry signed with them, but Jarvis Landry.
Oh, you remember, Amory?
Remember?
That morning? The little news that we had about Jarvis Landry signing with the Saints?
Yep.
Hmm?
Yep.
What was
Came to
that?
fruition.
I didn't even know that. When was that? Was I gone?
You were gone, yeah. All the good stuff happens when you're gone, Jeff. If you haven't noticed.
All right, I'll be gone more. You want me? Maybe I'll take some more time away
Did you
next
see
week.
one of those Green Bay cornerbacks got paid $84 million? Jerry Alexander. That's crazy.
It's a hard job, man.
Jeez,
It's a hard job. Hopefully, he deferred his.
They're going to need Ron Brown with these contracts.
Well, you're
he
seeing
deferred his signing bonus.
where the game is shifting. It's the money is going to the wide receivers, then it's going to the dudes that are covering those wide receivers.
It's a hard, I mean, I would tell you after quarterback, the hardest job on a football field is a corner. And now there's not a lot of easy ones. It's hard to play offensive line and keep those big boys off your quarterback. But to one-on-one cover a dude like Ron Brown, Tyreek Hill, well, it's hard, man. It's really hard. I found it really interesting. Danny Gonzalez was with us at 8 o'clock, and he said the quarterback that just signed with Oklahoma, he said, I'm not going to mention his name, Marie, you and I, in the break, literally right before that, we're talking about General Booty. Were we not?
Yeah. I put it out on Twitter, and I guess his uncle played at USC.
Yep.
And
Abram Booty? Yeah.
I guess it's an exciting recruit beyond his name.
Is he a member of the John David Booty clan?
It's the funniest name.
Well, remember John David Booty was the quarterback there? If you're General Booty, though, like you're in charge of all
General
the
Booty.
Like you go on campus and you're the quarterback and you're in charge of all the booty, right? Like General Booty. Like,
Rocking
and then his
everywhere.
picture with his gold cowboy hat.
I mean, you could only wear that gold cowboy hat if you're
General Booty?
Or Jerry Kill, probably.
The Jerry Kill. Fair.
That's it. That's it.
That's totally fair. General Booty. So I think we're burying the lead for a quick second. What about the fact that this is Monday?
They got him to fly into Albuquerque?
Okay, so that's something, is it not? That one of his official visits, this highly recruited quarterback who just signed with Oklahoma, was on campus in Albuquerque this weekend. Like, does that make you feel better about your program and what they're doing recruiting-wise? They didn't get him. And if you're going to sit here and get angry that he chose Oklahoma over New Mexico, that's kind of on you, but okay. But what about the conversation that the quarterback who's highly recruited that just signed with Oklahoma was on campus here and considering the University of New Mexico this weekend?
I think that's great.
Does it make you feel? It's got to, doesn't it?
Yes.
What does it say to you?
It says a lot that you're able to get a kid on campus for an official visit.
I think
Let's
so
keep
too.
it positive, kids.
Well, look, I don't know how it's anything but positive. Well, we
Well,
didn't
and
get
the
it.
coaching,
Okay.
everyone gets it. This team, it's going to come down to the offensive line and quarterback.
Well,
That is how they're going to compete in the Mountain West. Because defensively, we've seen them make progress over the last 3 years. They're finding athletes. They're playing well. If you can block people, have good quarterback play, it's going to give you a chance to win games in the Mountain West.
All right.
They're like, oh, really, JJ? Block people and have good quarterback play? Yeah, because that's the thing that hasn't been around here in a long time.
All right, I just want you to keep this in mind. And I'm not telling you it will happen, okay? General Booty is transferring from Tyler Junior College in Texas. Why was he in JC, Jeff? I don't know. I don't know. How good could he have been? We'll find out. But I'm just going to tell you this. He still has a free transfer, right? That means he doesn't have to sit out. And with this relationship that's been there, let me just 2 years down the line, if he doesn't play at Oklahoma and he's looking to transfer, is New Mexico in the conversation? Potential. I'm not telling you yes, but if this coaching staff is still here and there's a familiarity, and if he had a good visit, keep it in mind. I got to take this break. We're going to go to the phones when we come back. Keith, stay there. I want to talk to you about the NBA. 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, A. Marie, and Adrian. Thanks for being with us this morning and remembering that you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
The Sports Animal.
Phoenix Suns get run out of the desert last night. Dallas beat them 123-90. Mavericks advance to the Western Conference Finals. They will play the Golden State Warriors. Celtics run the defending champions out of Massachusetts. 109-81. They beat the Bucks. It'll be the Celtics and the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Glad you're with us this morning. Phone lines are open at 505-246-0610. Keith wants to talk a little NBA. Good morning, Keith. How are you?
Good. God, I got service finally.
Me too.
No, I think you might remember Willis Reed.
Yeah, 1971. Yep.
The Knicks.
Yep.
And there was a game, I think it was in the playoffs. I wish I could remember, but I was pretty young.
Yep.
But he broke his ankle or foot and couldn't keep him out of the game, man. He played. And,
so he didn't start the game, and he came out at halftime at Madison Square Garden. I want to say it was Game 7 in if I'm not wrong, it was 1971, but I might be wrong. I'll find it for you. And it was against the Lakers, and he came out of the tunnel, and it was 1970, Game 7 of the 1970 Finals, the Willis Reed moment when he hobbled back out on the floor. The place went nuts. The series was tied 3-3 against the Lakers, and Willis Reed came in, and he was named the MVP of the All-Star game that year, but he had a great second half, and the Knicks won Game 7 and won the championship.
Yeah, I think somehow we lose in athletics the physical talent. Like, he wasn't the greatest athlete, but he had a big heart, and he played through an injury and took the title.
Yep.
But
Anyways, that's great.
I'm going to hang up and listen.
Thank you, Keith.
I've listened to you guys for seems like 20 years now. I hardly ever call in, but I appreciate you.
Appreciate you listening. Call in anytime. Keith, don't be a stranger. Thanks for calling. Be well.
All right, bye.
505-246-0610. See, and there's a million guys. Well, I don't know if there's a million. There's a lot of guys like Keith who listen a lot and appreciate you.
Yeah, he felt bad. He kept losing serve. He's like, I want to talk about this topic.
Well, so are you guys familiar with Willis Reed? I mean, again, back in the day,
Yes.
right? 1970.
I mean, I wasn't around.
And we've
but-
all seen that clip of him kind of coming through the tunnel at Madison Square Garden and kind of hobbling. He had ripped a muscle in his right thigh and wasn't playing Game 7, and then he hobbled out onto the floor, and he hit 2 jump shots. It's not like he went for 40. He hit 2 shots, but it was the emotional up that the rest of that was that Walt Frazier, Dave DeBusschere team. Bill Bradley was on that team. Really good Knicks team, and they beat. He sat out Game 5 and 6, and Wilt Chamberlain was going nuts on him. Wilt had 45. How about the numbers Wilt had? In Game 5, Wilt Chamberlain had how many rebounds did Kayvon Looney have the other night?
Wilt Chamberlain probably like 38 rebounds.
Wilt Chamberlain had 45 points and 27 rebounds. How's that line? 45 and 27 for the Lakers to tie the series at 3-3. And Willis Reed back in the day said, I didn't want to have to look at myself in the mirror 20 years later and say, I wish I had tried to play. And so they gave him a painkiller injection in his side. Then they gave him another. I mean, the painkiller injections, plural, into his thigh, and he limped onto the court during warmups. The crowd erupted, and the Lakers stopped. Right, they're warming up. They stopped and they stared when they heard it. And Walt Frazier, who was on the Knicks at the time, and he was their star. You've seen the clips of him. He says something told me we might have these guys. And he only had 4 points and 3 rebounds, but he pestered Chamberlain all night long. Chamberlain missed shots when Reed was in the game, and Walt Frazier had 36 points and 19. No way. Walt Frazier had 36 and 19 assists. 19 assists. He called one of the most overshadowed final stat lines ever. 36 points and 19 assists in a Game 7, JJ. How about those numbers? I don't know. Those guys couldn't play today, though.
I don't know. Were they playing any defense?
They couldn't play in our day. I'll tell you what. That was 1970. They weren't very athletic. I've seen them. They look slow in black and white. They look slow in that color standard definition. Those guys.
Look at his Wilt Chamberlain if the dude with a torn quad shut him down. Torn IT band.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain couldn't
Wilt
play
Chamberlain's out there like struggling.
Now, I will give you Wilt Chamberlain. There weren't a lot of Wilt Chamberlain type bodies back in the day. And so there was but Wilt Chamberlain could have played in any age. And Wilt Chamberlain numbers are stupid, right? Like there's records and then there's the Wilt Chamberlain numbers. And Bill Russell for that matter. So, all right, let me hit you with some emails. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Dan says the biggest OD news on Friday, ? Jeffrey, Juan Jose Ana Maria. As I was on my way back, as I was on the back roads of New Mexico, I was shocked when you reported no Derby champ in the Preakness. Horse racing has their diehard fans. Their version of Rudy C will be tuned in. But for the rest of us, is there any reason to watch? How many millions did the announcement cost NBC and local tracks around the country with the loss of a casual fringe fan stopping by? I think casual fans are going to stop by anyway. I think it's the Preakness. None of you had heard of Rich Strike before, I don't know, the last 4 furlongs of the Derby anyway, right? You didn't know who the hell it was anyway. So I mean, it's a bummer, and it costs, and it's going to make a difference. But I don't know. Are you any more or less inclined to watch with Rich Strike not being in it?
I am not the person to ask when it comes to horse racing, but horse racing, is it the most bet on? Like
after
sport?
football? After football? Well, but it's bet on every day.
Yes. So it's still.
You ever been by a sports book in Vegas? They got every track up there.
I've been there a couple times.
And dudes are betting horse racing from all over the country
Here.
all day long. Yeah, you go to the
In
downs
New Mexico,
here.
it's crazy
Yeah,
here.
No doubt.
Even when I go to the bars and stuff, the guys are always like on their
People who
it's
like horse
crazy.
racing love
Love
horse
it.
racing. No doubt. No doubt. Adolph, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, just listening to you speak about that particular game. I was watching that game, the 7th game back in 1970, the Knicks and the Lakers.
Yeah.
And it was very doubtful whether or not Willis Reed would be able to take the floor for the 7th game. And it was quite dramatic when he made an appearance. The first 2 times that he touched the ball, he scored both on jumpers for 4 points. and he literally was still limping up and down the floor, but it so energized and galvanized his teammates that they went on to defeat the Lakers. If memory serves me correctly, I think Walt Clyde Frazier had 36 points and maybe 18 or 19 assists.
That's exactly his line. 36 and 19 was his line, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm remembering this from 50 years ago.
That a boy.
But yeah, it was quite a serious game, and the Lakers the next year went on to win the World Championship.
Finally.
And if you'll remember, I'm not sure that anybody will remember this, but I do. They won 33 straight games.
Yep.
And they were defeated by the at that time Lou Alcindor Milwaukee Bucks on national television. I was watching that game too. And I believe that's still the record for consecutive victories by a sports club.
Yeah, it
33
is.
in a row.
That was the Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich, Happy Hairston team. Really, really good teams. They got literally right to the precipice every year, it seemed like, and couldn't get over the top. Jerry West only has one ring. He got one. He got it in 71, but this was the one. I think this Knicks one was the one that gets him the most, the one that got away.
Yeah, let's see now. Here's what most people don't remember. Elgin Baylor started out as a member of that team. However, I believe in early November, he decided to retire that year.
Is that right?
And so that's the reason why Baylor does not have a ring. His place was taken, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, by a Columbia forward by the name of Jim McMillan.
Is that right? Jimmy McMillan, that's who he replaced. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I mean,
Jim
I'm just
McMillan
taking
was
a
on that
guess
team.
here.
Yeah, Jim McMillan was on that team, but
That's right.
It's interesting. All right, that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I'm thinking about stuff that I haven't thought of in like half a century.
Hopefully we're bringing back good
reminiscing.
memories for you. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Bring back good memories. All right.
Anyway, have a good one.
See you. If he's laughing and smiling, it must be good memories, right?
Yes.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, wrap it up. I got a bunch more correspondence. I'll update you on Lobo Golf. There has been a move since last I spoke to you. So we'll let you know how Lobo Golf is doing at the NCAA Regionals. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Amory, and Adrian, thank you for listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirky.
And Little Rock, those two are tied for first at -3. Lobos have dropped down to tied for 5th. They are +6 with Florida and Florida State. Top 5 will advance to a 3-round tournament. We're on the first day playing the back 9. So lots and lots and lots still to go. Hey, did you watch the Calgary Dallas Stars last night at all?
Yes, I did.
All right. You know, two things. First of all, 64 saves is insane. Like, why am I forgetting his name? Ottinger. 64 saves. That was the best red out I've ever seen in an arena. You know how arenas do whiteouts, blackouts, blueouts, red outs? It looked like empty seats. Like there wasn't a hole in their red out. If you were not wearing red, they will not let you in. I mean, am I lying to you? Was that the best red out you've ever seen in an arena from the fans?
It was really good.
Best, period. Like bar none. I've never seen anything better. All right. That's my hot take for the day. You can't come in without your red shirt, eh? I'll buy you one, eh? And you buy me a Labatt's, eh? Okay, eh? Canada's got 2 teams alive in the West, by the way.
Yeah. And it's a 2.5-hour drive.
Edmonton to Calgary. Is that the series? Is that the next series?
Yeah.
So it's going to be Colorado and
St.
Louis and Edmonton and Calgary. That's going to be bitching. That's nice up there. Hello, Howie.
Well, how's everything going, gentlemen?
Life's grooving. What's happening?
I thought Gopher was taking over this week.
You thought who was?
Gopher.
Gopher?
I don't think I understand.
Or Joshua?
Marie, I was just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Hoser, not Gopher.
No. I was gonna say. I was like, you mean Joshua?
Gopher.
I've been listening faithfully, but I forget names now. I haven't been called in a while.
All right, Gopher.
Hey, JJ, that busted up lip. Did you come out of the game?
No.
Atta boy, there you go. Now he knows what it's like to play old school football, right, Jeff?
That's right. He just played it the other day.
Just go
punch in the face. Go.
Yeah,
sports.
He's tough enough to play back in the day.
Yeah, heck, if I ran down that field one time, I'd just keep running to the locker room and go find a package of liquor. I couldn't make it. So
if you can make it that far, yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, what do you think Pistol Pete would have done in today's basketball, guys?
Pete Maravich? I mean, he would have scored a lot of points. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what the defense on him was like back in the day. That's before my time. But I do know that they didn't have a three-point line, and that dude, by every highlight you've ever seen, is as good a shooter as we've seen outside of Steph Curry, and there are plenty of tell you who said inside of Steph Curry. So, I mean, how would he be related to these defenses? How was he athletically? How would he have been with today's conditioning regimen and getting better? I got to believe he'd have been pretty good.
Yeah, I think he would have too. Right now, I'm beginning to wonder. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Dallas is a pretty hot ticket right now. I'm wondering if this momentum doesn't carry him the rest of the way through.
You want Dallas? You like him over Golden State?
I don't know. I want Golden State. I love Steph Curry. I love Thompson. I like Jordan Poole. I just like the Warriors. I think they're a really tight-knit unit, the core of that group, and I really admire that they've stuck together this long while, and I want to see them get another championship. But I don't know. Dallas is pretty hot.
Yeah, I like Golden State too, but I can see Dallas winning. I think Golden State, bottom line, their studs have to break out of the shooting slump. If they continue to shoot like this, I think Dallas is good enough to take them down.
Yep. Well, after the NFL schedule came out, I approached my 7-year-old grandson, the little playground lover boy, Luke, and I had promised to take him to a first NFL football game this year for his birthday. He wanted to choose one. He chose Tampa Bay. So we signed it up yesterday. I'm going to get to see Tom Brady one more time before he retires, and I'm super excited about NFL already, and we're 3 months removed, guys. But
That's
NFL
so
is king. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
See you. All right. Let me get through as many of these emails as I can before we get out of here. Jack is in. He said track stars as wide receivers, and that was a topic today. Former Ram wide receiver Pro Bowler Ron Brown was on the show with us today. He's also a gold medalist in the '84 Olympics. And Jack says they're called Elijah Lilly and Jay Griff, and they end up at Colorado Mesa and Northwest State. Not always, man. I mean, sometimes, but not always. Tell you what, Ron Brown was.
Yeah, there's two guys that football-wise, grass wasn't greener.
Yeah.
But who knows how they feel overall?
Well, Bruce says it was a different OD feel Friday, Jeff. I can't see Fearless Dougie hanging out and hoeing. He would have been crying about how the team up north gets everything an Aggie football team doesn't even have a locker room. Guys have to dress at home before they get to the gym. With that said, that works great over the summer. If New Mexico State starts 0-5, losing by 50 points a game, the tune will quickly change. It's from Bruce. He talked about Jerry Kill coming on last week, and the new football coach at New Mexico State was on with us on Friday. And JJ, his message was, I'm not going to talk about what we don't have. Yeah, we need a locker room. I'm going to talk about what we do have. And look, they freely talk about how they need to level that thing and build a new locker room. But he says, I'm going to talk about what we do have and what are our advantages here. Messaging's a lot. So, Richard says, NBA hot take. JJ, how many combined belts will these guys win? James Harden, Kyrie, LeBron James, Devin Durant. I don't even know who Devin Durant is, but I think it means Kevin. Chris Paul. From here on out. He says, I'm going with 0 because none of them are winners. LeBron used to be, but now he's all about passing Kareem than hanging out long enough to play with LeBron Jr. How many more rings combined? James Harden, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul. It's kind of an interesting conversation.
2.
Okay.
Who, Kevin Durant?
Do you think Durant's going to win 2 more? Where's Kyrie going to be? I mean, there was talk that the Lakers are looking at trading for him last week. There's all kinds. I mean, Kyrie and LeBron back together in LA.
I think so. Over under 1.5 for that group of players.
So you would say 2?
Ooh, 1.5.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you think Harden's going to win one?
Windows.
You just don't know who's going to be where, right?
Yeah.
Chris
Right.
Paul's window, I think, is closed.
Closed. I think it's done.
Now,
Kyrie could go. Kyrie still has Kevin Durant. Like, as messy as it was, that's talent you can bet on for 1 or 2 more years. Maybe he ends up somewhere and it clicks for a season. Kyrie with the Lakers, who knows what that destination could be.
Well, I mean, looking at LeBron at 37, going to be 38, in the situation in which he finds himself, I don't see the path right now with the Lakers to winning a championship. Now, if they get Kyrie and somehow get out of Russ, so now you're telling me next year they're going in with Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I mean,
if can stay healthy.
Well, 6 years ago you're going,
yeah, this
look at
team
that.
6 years ago, the whole team.
But now, I mean, if
Kyrie even like LeBron James?
I
don't know if they like each
know.
other, but they like themselves, first of all, and they like winning. They both really like themselves, and they both like winning, right? I think they like winning. I don't know how that works either. I'm on your page with this.
Ultimately, when it's all said and done, it's probably going to be the under.
Under, so you think 1, 0, or 1?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, look at the 4 teams in the finals right now.
Well, you got a 3 and a 4 seed in the West. Top 2 seeds, but nobody was talking about 1 and 2 in the East.
No.
Everybody was talking about 3 and 7 in the East. That's where all the talk was. It was about the Bucks and the Nets. No. All right, Gene's in on interesting series this weekend, Jeff. Who has the advantage? Global Baseball with no pressure because they already know they'll be checking in their equipment Saturday afternoon, or Air Force, who may need to sweep it to make the Mountain West Conference tournament? Well, it would be Air Force. Easy answer. Deutsch wants to vent. The stuff that I was paying $6.50 for this time last year, like laundry detergent, well, that's now the sale price where the store has the big sign in front of the building telling you how much they're saving you. The regular price now is like $9.99 WTH. Well, if you don't know what WTH, I mean, watch the news a little bit. Supply chains and inflation and everything. Yeah, everything's more, man. Inflation's like, what, 12%, 8%, 9%?
Did you see Justin Thomas was tweeting out about how he was complaining that the beers were $18 at the beer tournaments? I don't know where the PGA is next week, but wherever it is next week.
PGA's at like Southern Hills or something.
Justin Thomas is like, why is a Michelob Ultra at $18?
It's a lot for a Michelob Ultra, man.
Justin Thomas is upset about it.
Yeah, and he can probably afford it better than you and I.
Yeah.
By the way, PGA's this week. This week, PGA Championship. Well, yeah. Frank, says Maurice, Jeff was never, or Cal, what does it say? Cal, oh, that was the Cal Bears. Cal was never asked in sweeping the weekend series. Global Baseball has now lost 11 games by 10 points or more. It's got to be some kind of school record, a Mountain West record, right, Frank? They lost. They got handled this weekend. Can we end on a positive a little bit?
Yes.
How about your New Mexico Ice Wolves? Best logo in the history of New Mexico sports. And now they will be playing for a championship. They came from 2 down and won 3 in a row. They won the Game 5 decisive winner, 1-0 yesterday on the road, beat Fort Worth. And they're going to the Robertson Cup and playing for a championship. We'll do some Ice Wolves this week. But I know in this house we love us some hockey.
Oh, yeah.
And that's and the people who love Ice Wolves hockey love them some Ice Wolves hockey. But that's Stan Hubbard's done a great job with that franchise, and he won Executive of the Year again in that league. And congratulations to them, huh?
Great.
Yes.
Victory. 1-0.
Yeah.
Let's
in a
go.
deciding game.
A deciding game.
That's big time.
Yeah. Thank you to Ron Brown, Danny Gonzalez, and Matt McCoy. They were all with us today, guesting on our show. The Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd follows that. 2 Men On come your way for a full 3 hours. Is that 4? Yeah, 3 hours. It starts at 4. And we're back with award-winning radio starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Adrian, good to see you. Glad we're back up on the ProView. Great work. Hey, Marie, great work.
Thank you.
Still married?
Yes.
Okay. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Take care of your face. Thanks for being with us. Enjoy the day. Have a great, safe Monday. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard